ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಿ ಸವಿ ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನಲ್. ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಮಾಡುವವರು ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಮತ್ತು ತರಬೇತಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮಂಡ್ಯ.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Savi Mandya educational YouTube channel Mandya Diet. Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are all good, safe and fine. Today we are going to study the continuation of the poem The Gymnastic Clock. Class 7th standard, second language English, poem The Gymnastic Clock. Children, I hope you are all ready with your book, pen and pencil. Before going to the poem, shall we sing a rhyme? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. The rhyme is tick tock, tick tock. Tick tock, merrily sings the clock. Tick tock, merrily sings the clock. It's time for work, it's time for play. It's time for work, it's time for play. So it sings throughout the day. So it sings throughout the day. Tick tock, merrily sings the clock. Tick tock, merrily sings the clock. Yes, dear students, did you enjoy the rhyme? Yes, I hope you enjoyed the rhyme. In the previous class, the home assignment was given for you. Yes, that is, match the following of the incomplete lines. Now, let us check of our answers of the assignment. The little clock is friends with me. It talks as plain can be, and says each morning as it rises, now don't forget your exercises. Yes, I hope all of you have written the home assignment and submitted to your teacher. In the last class, we came to know about the conversation between the poetess and the clock. Now, let us move on to the next stanza of the poem. I read the poem, try to follow me. Are you all ready? Yes. The gymnastic clock, right in its face, then I say pooh. I wouldn't boast of it like you, but I can swing my arms round too. And so the clock then looks at me, and I look back and I and he. Each single morning when we rise, just exercise and exercise. Yes, the poem is written by M.C. Davis. Dear students, did you understand the reading of the poem? Yes. Now, I recite the poem, try to follow me and enjoy the recitation. The gymnastic clock, right in its face, then I say pooh. I wouldn't boast of it like you, but I can swing my arms on too. And so the clock then looks at me, and I look back and I and he. Each single morning when we rise, just exercise and exercise. Just exercise and exercise. Children, I hope you enjoyed the meditation. Now, let us learn the new words we came across while we reciting the poem. Let us pick the new words and learn what are they. The first word is pooh. What is meant by pooh? Pooh andre eno? Yes, it is an exclamation. Pooh means expression of refusal or disgust. ಅಸಹ್ಯವನ್ನು ಚೀತು ಅಂತ ಚೀಮಾರಿಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಸುವ ಪದವೇ ಪೂ. Here is a sentence for you to understand the word. Pooh, these mangoes are rotten. You can see the picture of the rotten mangoes here. Students, take down this word. Next, learn another new word, boast. What is meant by boast? Yes. Boast means speak of oneself with excessive pride. ಜಂಬ ಬಡಾಯಿ ಕೊಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. You can say the word boast in a sentence like this. Some people boast about their own qualities all the time and do not listen to others. I hope you understood the meaning of the word boast. Next word is swing. Swing andre ಏನು? To move up and down, backwards and forwards. ತಿರುಗಿಸು, ಓಲಾಡಿಸು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ swing ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. You can use the word swing in a sentence like this. Two kids are swinging in the park merrily. Here is a video. In the video, two kids are swinging in the park merrily. Children, now we have learnt the meaning of the new words. After understanding the new words, we shall move on to understand the poem better. The first line of the third stanza is, right in its face, then I say poo. ಮುಖಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಪೂ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲಮೇಷನ್, ಉದ್ಗಾರ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಚೀತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಸುವ ಪದ. Here, right means directly. Clock. Turning towards the clock, the poetess says this to the clock. Then poetess sounds like a poo. This is a sarcastic statement by the poetess at the clock. Why is the word poo used here? Yes, poetess used the exclamation to repudiate the boasting of the clock. Means, when the clock says to the poetess that the clock does the exercise all the day, then the poetess gets angry towards the clock and sounds as poo at the clock. The next line is, I wouldn't boast of it like you. ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ರೀತಿ ಜಂಬ ಕೊಚ್ಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Here, boast means to talk about your own ability of achievement. Children, who is boasting here? Yes, the clock is boasting here. What is the clock boasting here? Yes, the clock is boasting that the clock only does the exercise all day. Now, after looks at the clock, the poetess tells the clock that I can also swing my rounds too. Now, after looks at the clock, the poetess tells that I wouldn't boast of it like you. ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ರೀತಿ ಜಂಬ ಕೊಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Next line is, but I can swing my arms round too. ನಾನು ದಿನಾಲು ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಕಸರತ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. Means, the poetess says to the clock that I can also swing my arms round and rotate my arms round too, but I am not bragly telling to you. ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ರೀತಿ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದು ನಿನ್ನ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಜಂಬದಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. Here, the poetess is looking at the clock and says that even she can swing her arms round like the clock. The poetess never boasted like the clock. The poetess says to the clock, I wouldn't say so much arrogantly like you telling to me. Next line is, and so the clock then looks at me and I look back and I and he. ನಾನು ಇದಾಗ ಗಡಿಯಾರ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿತು, ನಾನು ಗಡಿಯಾರದ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೊಬ್ಬರು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡೆವು. The clock was confused. Why was the clock confused? Yes, when the poetess replied that I would also rotate my hands, but I wouldn't boast like you. Hearing the reaction of the poetess, the clock confused. Here, there are two words used, I and he. Who does I and he? Yes, here I refer to the poetess and he refers to the clock. Then, the poetess and the clock look at each other in get no way. Each single morning when we rise, just exercise and exercise. ದಿನಾಲು ಎದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. Every morning, both the clock and the poetess wake up and do their exercise. Here, both the clock and the poetess, whenever wake up early in the morning, they both do the exercise daily. Till now, we have analyzed poem by line wise. Now let us summarize the part of the poem. The clock brags that it does exercise all day. The poetess feels humiliated and clarifying himself says to the clock right in its face that he wouldn't boast like the clock. And like the clock, the poetess also can swing his arms round too. So both the clock and the poetess look at each other for a long time. Now both the clock and the poetess rise up early in the morning and do their exercise daily. Here, the poetess trying to impart us that we should do the workout daily to be healthy and fitness. Along with that, the poetess emphasizes that man should be always active and busy like the clock to stay healthy, wise and strong. Children, I hope till now you understood the theme of the poem. Here is a line or a statement of the poem. Make out the line and answer to the questions. The line is, I exercise like this all day. Who says this line? I hope you can answer to this question. Yes, the little clock says this line in the poem. Children, are you thinking that the clock is an non-living thing? Then how it is waking up and talking in the poem and says this line? Yes, children, here the clock is incarnated or personified as a human. So, what is meant by personification? Personification is a figure of speech. So, what is meant by figure of speech? Figures of speech are the group of words which add beauty to speech or sentences. ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆದರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಕೋರೇಷನ್ ಅಲಂಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ದ್ವಾರ ತುಂಬ ಆಕರ್ಷಕವಾಗಿರಲಿ, ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ಎಂದು ಅಲಂಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಕವನಗಳ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಾಲು ಸಹಜಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಿಂತ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿರಲಿ, ಮನಸೆಳೆಯುವಂತೆ ಇರಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕವಿಗಳು ಈ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಕವನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರೆ. Decoration is a conventional in all programs because to be attractive, enticing and enchanting. Similarly, the poetess use the figures of speech in their poems to make it rich, different than the natural meaning of it. Means, figures of speech means expression or articulation of things in a remarkable way to make greater effect. Dear children, basically there are many types of figures of speech like simile, metaphor. But here only focused on personification because which is useful for the classes in the primary level. Now we get into personification. So what is meant by personification? Personification andre ಏನು? Personification is a figure of speech where human qualities are given to non-living. ನಿರ್ಜೀವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಸಜೀವ ವಸ್ತು ಎಂದು ವರ್ಣಿಸುವುದು ಅಂದರೆ ನಿರ್ಜೀವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾನವನ ಗುಣ ತುಂಬುವುದು. Means giving human qualities or nature to objects and ideas is to be called as personification. Sometimes poets or poetess in their poems make a thing, an idea or an animal do something that only human beings can do. This is known as personification. See the picture of the sunlight and read the sentence given here. Yes, the sunlight danced. Is it possible? Can the sun do the dance? Never. The sunlight can't actually dance, but humans ever can. But here the sun is being represented as human. The second example of personification is that piece of chocolate cake is calling my name. Dear children, chocolate cake doesn't have the ability to call after someone. But here the word chocolate is incarnated to express the feeling of desire and hunger. Now, till now, we have understood the figures of speech and example of personification. Now, let us identify the examples of personification in the poem. The first one is this. The clock is a friend with the poetess. The clock rises in the morning. The clock does exercise daily. The clock looks at the poetess. Yes, these are the examples of personification in the poem. You can find out in the poem. Till now, we have identified the examples of the personification. Let me check what you understood till now through some questions. Are you ready? Yes. Here is a line of the poem given for you. Pooh, I wouldn't boast of it like you. Now, I ask a few questions regarding to the above line in the poem. First question is, who is referred to as you? Yes, answer is, you is referred to the clock. Second question is, what is the clock boasting about? Answer is, the clock is boasting about the continuous exercise of its hand above and below. Third question is there a computation between the one who says this line and the clock? Answer is, the poetess says this above sentence in the competitive mood. Dear children, till now we have recalled what we have learned. Now, it's time for homework. Children, what is the homework for you? Yes. The first, what is the relationship between the poetess and the clock? The second one is, what is meant by figure of speech? Third question is, identify the examples of personification in the poem. Dear children, after doing the homework, you can show it to your teacher when you go to school as usual. Fine children, thank you all to watching the video.